Tom, I heard you've been bragging about how you're getting fluent without even opening a grammar book. Is that true?
I know it sounds crazy, Tina. I used to be obsessed with textbooks, but I realized I was just memorizing rules, not actually learning to speak. Now I've stopped studying and started absorbing.
Common mistake. I am studying English language every day. Native way, I'm picking up English through immersion.
Picking up sounds so much more effortless, right? It's like I'm soaking it all in instead of forcing it into my brain.
That is exactly how native speakers learn. They don't study grammar charts, they pick it up from context. So, what's your new routine then?
I just surround myself with it. I listen, I mimic, and I talk to myself out loud. It feels natural, not forced.
That's the secret to fluency. It's about building an environment, not a syllabus.
Engagement tip? Are you tired of textbooks too? Tell us in the comments. I'm done with studying. I'm ready to start your goal. Let's get that energy going. Down below.
Tom, one thing I notice with learners is they translate everything in their head before speaking. You said you stopped studying. How did you stop the translation?
Honestly, it was a struggle at first. I'd see something and my brain would say, "Translate this to your native language." I had to force myself to stop thinking, "How do I say this?" and start thinking, "How do I describe this?"
Common mistake. How to say hungry in English? Native way. What's the word for that feeling when you really need a meal?
See? Instead of looking for a direct translation, I describe the concept. It's a game changer.
Exactly. You're focusing on the meaning rather than the dictionary definition. When you stop translating, the flow comes naturally. It's about building a bridge between the object and the English word directly.
It feels so much faster. Instead of a mental map of two languages, I'm just building one, the English one.
That's how you start thinking like a native. You're not a translator anymore. You're an English speaker.
Engagement tip. Do you find yourself translating in your head? Try this. Describe an object in your room using 3 simple English words instead of its name. Share your description in the comments. Below.
Okay, Tom, you've stopped translating. But fluency isn't just about speaking, right? Most people think they need to study grammar to improve. What's your take?
That's the trap. I used to stare at grammar charts until my eyes hurt. Now, I just use passive listening. I keep English podcasts or YouTube videos playing in the background while I do chores.
Common mistake. I am studying listening skills for 1 hour. Native way? I'm just keeping some English on in the background while I do my thing.
Keeping it on in the background is key. Even if I'm not paying 100% attention, my brain is picking up the rhythm, the tone, and the way native speakers connect their words.
Spot on. It's called rhythmic familiarization. You're training your ears to recognize natural speech patterns without the stress of trying to learn.
Exactly. It's effortless. It feels like I'm just hanging out with native speakers, even if they're just on my speakers.
You're essentially creating an English bubble for yourself. No textbooks, no pressure, just total exposure.
Engagement tip. What kind of content do you like to keep in the background? A podcast? A movie? Let us know in the comments so others can get some inspiration. Down below.
We've talked about listening, Tom, but listening is passive. How do you turn that into speaking without studying how to form sentences?
That's where the mimicry shortcut comes in. Instead of analyzing why a sentence is structured a certain way, I just copy the speaker. I treat it like I'm an actor learning a role.
Common mistake. I have to learn the grammar rule for this sentence. Native way? I'm just mimicking how they say that naturally.
Mimicking feels so much more organic. When I hear a phrase like, "I couldn't care less," I don't look up the grammar. I just copy the melody and the speed of the speaker. It sticks instantly.
You're absolutely right. It's exactly how kids learn their first language, by imitating sounds, not by memorizing rules. When you mimic, you're training your mouth muscles to get comfortable with the rhythm.
It's fun, too. I sometimes record myself on my phone and compare it to the original. When I finally match the tone, it feels like a victory.
That victory feeling is what builds fluency. You're not just repeating words, you're capturing the vibe of the language.
Engagement tip? Try it right now. Find a short sentence in this video, pause, and say it back exactly like I did. Did you nail the tone? Tell us in the comments.
We've covered mimicry and listening, Tom. But let's be real. Sometimes when you're not studying, you're going to make mistakes. Doesn't that scare you?
Honestly, it used to. I was terrified of sounding wrong. But now I treat mistakes like data. If I say something and get a weird look, I just laugh it off.
Common mistake. I am sorry for my bad English and my mistakes. Native way. Oops, that didn't come out right. Let me rephrase that.
Let me rephrase that is my favorite phrase now. It takes the pressure off. I'm not failing, I'm just editing my speech in real time.
That is such a healthy mindset. People who study get paralyzed by perfection. But you treating English like a conversation, where the goal is connection, not 100% accuracy.
Exactly. When you stop worrying about being perfect, you start being bold. And ironically, that's when I started sounding more fluent.
Because you're relaxed. When your brain isn't in test mode, the words flow much easier. You're trading perfection for progress.
Engagement tip. What's the funniest mistake you've ever made while speaking English? Share it below. Let's laugh and learn together. Down below.
Tom, we've talked about dropping the grammar books, but what about the internal work? Most people try to think in their native language and translate on the fly. How do you stop that?
That was the hardest part. I realized that if I'm thinking about the word apple in my native language, I'm adding an extra step. Now, I try to visualize the object or the action directly.
Common mistake. I have to think of the translation in my head first. Native way? I just visualize what I'm trying to describe.
If I'm hungry, I don't think about the word for hungry in my language. I just picture a plate of food. My brain then connects that image to the English word hungry. It cuts out the middleman.
It's the direct association method. By bypassing your native language, you're training your brain to create an English-only zone.
Exactly. It feels like a shortcut. It makes me react so much faster in conversations. I'm not playing a memory game. I'm just describing what I see.
You're shifting from mental translation to mental imagery. That's a huge leap toward true native-like fluency.
Engagement tip. Try this right now. Look at an object near you. Do not translate it in your head. Just picture it and say its English name out loud. Did you bypass the translation? Tell us in the comments. Down below.
All right, Tom. We've covered visualization, but sometimes you don't have anyone to practice with. People often think they need a partner to get better. But what's your take?
You don't need a partner to build your confidence. I've been talking to myself for months. It sounds a little funny, but it's the best way to get comfortable with the sound of your own voice in English.
Common mistake. I have nobody to speak English with, so I cannot practice. Native way? I just narrate my day out loud to get comfortable with the flow.
Narrating my day out loud? I just talk through what I'm doing. I'm making a coffee, I'm opening my laptop. I need to finish this report. It's like having a commentary track for my own life.
That is brilliant. You're essentially practicing in a low-stakes environment. There's no judgment, no pressure, and you're forced to find the words to describe your actual reality.
Exactly. And because I'm doing it while I'm doing the actions, the words stick much faster. It's not just abstract practice. It's tied to my real-world experience.
You're turning your daily life into a playground for language. That's how you build muscle memory without a teacher.
Engagement tip. Start now. Narrate your next action out loud. Comment below with what you just said to yourself.
We've talked about narrating your day, Tom,
But there's a big difference between talking like a narrator and talking like a friend. Most people stick to rigid textbook sentences. How do you sound more like a native in casual conversation?
It's all about the fillers. I used to be so focused on perfect, complete sentences that I sounded like a robot. Now, I use the same fillers that native speakers use to sound more natural and give myself time to think.
Common mistake. I am thinking about your question right now. Sounds like a robot. Native way. Let me see. That's a good question. Or, that's a tough one.
Using, let me see, or actually, makes me sound so much more relaxed. It fills those awkward gaps in conversation while my brain finds the right word.
Exactly. Those aren't just filler words. They're social lubricants. They make the conversation flow smoothly instead of feeling like a series of stiff statements.
It really does. And it makes me feel less stressed. I don't need to have the perfect sentence ready instantly. I can take a second, use a filler, and stay in the flow.
You're mastering the rhythm of the language, Tom. You're learning that how you bridge your sentences is just as important as the sentences themselves.
Engagement tip. Instead of using or silence, try using let me see, or you know what? Next time you're stuck, give it a try in the comments. What's a tough one you've been thinking about lately? Down below.
Tom, we've talked about fillers and narration, but what about vocabulary? Most people spend hours memorizing long lists of words from a dictionary. Do you still do that?
Not a chance. That was my biggest mistake. I used to write down lists of words with their definitions, but I'd forget them by the next day. Now, I only learn words that I actually hear in context.
Common mistake. I am memorizing 10 new words from my dictionary every day. Native way. I only pick up new words that I hear used in a conversation or a movie.
If I hear someone say, that was a total game changer, I don't need a dictionary. I understand the situation where it was used, so the meaning sticks automatically.
That's the context-first strategy. When you learn a word in a story or a conversation, your brain creates an emotional anchor for it. It's not just a collection of letters anymore. It's a tool you've seen in action.
Exactly. It makes vocabulary feel like building a collection rather than studying for a test. I'm only keeping the words that actually fit my personality and my daily life.
You're being intentional about your language. You aren't just hoarding words. You're curating your own speaking style.
Engagement tip. Think of one word or phrase you learned recently from a movie or a video, not a textbook. Share it in the comments and explain the context you heard it in. Let's see what you've picked up down below.
We made it to the end, Tom. 10 parts later, and you're living proof that you don't need a desk full of textbooks to be fluent. Looking back, what is the one thing you want our viewers to walk away with?
That fluency isn't a destination you reach by studying harder. It's a lifestyle you adopt by living differently. Stop viewing English as a subject and start viewing it as a medium for your life.
Stop translating. Start visualizing and describing. Stop memorizing. Start picking up words through context. Stop being perfect. Start being bold and embracing the mess. Stop studying. Start living, narrating, and miming your way to fluency. It's been amazing watching your transformation, Tom. You're not just speaking English, you're thinking and living in it.
And it's all thanks to ditching the student mindset. To everyone watching, you already have everything you need to be fluent. Just open your ears, start talking to yourself, and let the language become part of your daily routine.
You said it, Tom. The only way to get fluent is to stop studying and start doing. See you all in the next journey.